Hey, dear listeners, Love is Blind on Netflix, Season 4. Let's watch and see what happens.
Like that. So it was it was weird getting into it, but
Yeah.
you know.
How's everything going now, though? Good?
Good. I'd say it's great.
Good. I really do care about you, like, as a person, and, like, the connection we made, like, I still, like, think about you. I, like, hope the best for you, and...
So, as I've been saying from the beginning, it's totally normal for people who had serious feelings for each other in the pods that they didn't end up with to see each other for the first time. It would be a mixture of feelings, and it'd be normal to still have some lingering feelings for each other, not necessarily, but it would stand to reason. Maybe just 4 or 5 days ago, Kwame was totally in love with her and wanted to marry her, and she had feelings for him too. So they're expressing that. She's expressing it more than he is. She seems more intoxicated than he is. I can't tell, obviously, but there seems to be some indication that this is further along in the pool party time after a few drinks. But what do you do with your current partner? Do you just forge ahead and express these kinds of feelings to your former partner or the other person without thinking about the feelings of your current partner? Or maybe they have an arrangement, or I don't know. Let's see what happens.
That is the most Micah thing ever. Like,
Why is that the most Micah thing ever?
because like you really had the best heart.
I think I missed something. He was laughing, saying that was so Micah. Let's rewind that.
Care about you, like, as a person, and, like, the connection we made, like, I still, like, think about you. I, like, hope the best for you, and I don't know, I just want you to be so happy, and, like, I hope that Chelsea's, like, that person that makes you happy.
That is the most Micah thing.
Is he thinking that she is insincere, and then he is sort of laughing at how he's picking up on her insincerity, and then has to make up for it maybe by saying, you have a really good heart? I don't know. What do you think he is picking up on there? Because she seemed legit, and you would imagine there would be at least a tinge of insincerity there, even if she is into Paul, which I don't know. They are talking as if they're really into each other. But you could imagine, even if you're like, yeah, I don't want to be with Kwame, but I have some feelings for him, and it's totally unfair, but I kind of wish I had him all to myself, even though I don't really want to be with him. And we can have these complicated feelings. So it'd be normal to have a little bit of hesitation as you're like, yeah, that's good for you. I'm really glad that you and Chelsea are working out. So I don't know. What do you think? Is he... That's my best guess, is that he's picking up on her saying that he wishes him and Chelsea the best as some sort of insincere statement, and then he says the following.
Ever. Like,
Why is that the most Micah thing ever?
because like you really had the best heart. You know, I could feel it.
I mean,
You know, I don't know if she's picking up on what he said, or I'm not picking. I don't know. What do you think?
from feelings, and, like,
That shit wasn't easy.
I know.
You know?
Of course I know. It wasn't easy for me either.
Yeah.
Like, at all. Like, at all.
Yeah. It was a tough moment. I mean,
That wasn't me saying I didn't want you. It was me.
So this is good too. You often hear me talking about ethical breaking up with. That often involves follow-up conversations and expression of feelings. And he basically just indicated that it was rough for him, and she is attending to that. Let's rewind that.
Based on feelings, and, like,
that shit wasn't easy.
I know.
You know?
Of course I know. It wasn't easy for me either.
Yeah.
Like, at all. Like, at all.
Yeah. It was.
So he's had a lot of time to think about that moment when she broke up with him, and she's now saying it wasn't easy for her, but in the moment she did not indicate that. So maybe this helps him, or helps their potential, at least cordial relationship, if not friendship, that she's saying, no, it was really hard. I think she could do more and say, you know, in the moment I was extremely shut down because I was terrified. I didn't know what to do. And when I look back on the way that I told you I didn't want to be with you, I feel extremely bad for not being more caring, for not giving you a chance to express your feelings. And I just feel so bad. So I want to tell you that it was really hard for me. You know, she could say something like that, because you could see from his perspective, he might be like, well, in the moment you sure didn't show that you had a heart, but now you're saying that it was hard for you, but it sure didn't seem that way. So I think now you're just being cordial, or you're just saying things that you think I want to hear. So if she really wanted to convince him, she'd have to demonstrate, she'd have to counteract what she actually did in the moment.
It was a tough moment. I mean,
That wasn't me saying I didn't want you. It was me saying like I needed to like think and make sure I was making the right decision for both of us, because I think that there's a very good chance I could have been like you till the end, as you gave me so much reassurance and you made me.
So under normal circumstances, I would just see this as her expressing her care, or trying to make sure that he knows that the feelings she had for him were real, even though it's not going to happen. But seeing everything that we've seen from her, this other side to her, there's this chance that all of this is insincere. The worst, it could be some kind of game she's playing to try to manipulate. I mean, I'm not used to thinking that about anyone, even people on these shows, but I'm sure people are thinking that, right? Like, is this some kind of grand manipulation that she's trying to get him back? Is it subconscious? That'll happen. Sometimes people will subconsciously try to get people back because they have a desperation for validation. They feel really bad about themselves, and they're on a constant treadmill of trying to get supply of that adoration, and they will self-destruct in the process and never really know what they want. They just know they want people to want them. So I don't know, but she could be sincere. I'm going to err on the side of she's being sincere, but who knows given her behavior thus far.
That wasn't me saying I didn't want you. It was me saying like I needed to like think and make sure I was making the right decision for both of us, because I think that there's a very good chance I could have been like you till the end.
You know what I mean? Because it almost seems like she's trying to hit on him in this moment. I don't want to go that far, but you could see how someone would interpret it that way. She's kind of saying, look, there's still a chance. I mean, who knows what exactly she's saying, because you have to, I'm reading between the lines, I don't know if I'm reading correctly, but you know what I mean? That there's a possibility seeming that she's at least emotionally trying to get across. I don't know. What do you think? Am I reading this wrong?
about what we had going on.
And I did too. I want you to know that. I did too. Yeah.
We're supposed to walk out of here with our real connection, and that's what happened.
Like Chelsea and stuff, like
Yeah.
me and her weren't the closest, but as I start to see like her heart, I feel like she's
Yeah.
very, very, very genuine. Sometimes it comes off a little much.
So on one hand, you could see this as her trying to get under Kwame's skin by undermining Chelsea. On the other hand, I could see how Chelsea, because these individuals have much more contact and have seen Chelsea in a lot more context. And I can imagine for Micah or the others who had more contact with Chelsea that they might see Chelsea in that direction. She's given signs of that. I think it's endearing, and I think it's a good quality that Chelsea has, but she's not shy. She's kind of blunt, I think. She's intense. She's on that side of things. So you could see someone like Micah, especially if there's a mild competition over Kwame, that Micah might receive that as intense or something. So she might just be being honest and making conversation. She could also be trying to manipulate. I mean, she's certainly not doing things that are giving me a chance to write off the theory, the hypothesis that she is trying to get people to do things just for the sake of it, or I don't know. I don't usually, those people do exist, and there are defenses that can produce that kind of behavior, like low self-esteem, but I don't know.
Not some sort of like show. It's who she is.
She's being very real.
And that makes me happy that you were able to find what your real match was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that is it, right?
That is it.
I don't know. I just want you to know, like, if you ever want to talk about anything, I know you're really happy now. I'm just like still here.
I don't know if I'm just looking for things, but the tone that she asked, she's like, you found your one, right? Thinking, are you sure? And then, you know, if you ever want to talk, if you just look at the verbatim statements, it's fine. But it seems like she's saying, if you ever have a question mark about Chelsea, like, come to me because I want to be with you. I mean, it just sounds awful to think about someone like this. So it's just a possibility. You know, who knows what's going on in her mind, but it's a possibility. there's also a possibility that she's just being nice.
I think you're so great.
I think you're so great too.
So,
And for Kwame, he's seemingly kind of squirming a little bit under the awkwardness. Think of Cole and Colleen. We've seen other conversations like this where they're just like, yeah, okay. Who else was it from season 2? Jarrett and Mal, when they got together, Jarrett seemed to be, if I remember right, really like, oh my God, I don't know if, similar. I can't know what goes on in people's minds, but it seemed like Jarrett was really expressing to Mal, like, seeing you and meeting you in person, and it just makes me wonder if I made the right choice. Who knows if when they're saying those things, they're saying, I don't want to be with my current partner. It could just mean that they just have question marks because you just never know what the future holds.
Face, like I really like dark features, and like the moment I saw Zach, it was like I don't know who this man is, and I was like maybe it's just like scary, and it was a lot like oh maybe it's gonna grow, and like I've noticed though like every time he does like touch me, I get like a major itch. Like when he puts his arm around me at night, I literally like my heart stopped, and I literally go.
Okay, so she said that she gets the ick with him, which, you know, what are you going to do? You can't do anything about that. You don't know if you're going to get the ick or not when you're in the pods, and so she did, and, you know, that those things happen. We've seen it happen on the show before, and she's being honest about it. I think she's a pretty honest person, in contrast to a lot of people on the show, particularly when they get in this position. They will, I think, obscure what they're thinking. We could think Bartise, I don't know if Bartise had ick, but that there was just no physical chemistry there. Even though you might think, yeah, this is an attractive person, but I don't know, there's just nothing, I don't know, there's not a vibe there. So she's experiencing that, she's being honest about it, and yeah. Now, could it be the defense that we talked about in a previous video? It could be, but sometimes even if it is a defense, it's like, well, do I really want to work on that and try to force the issue?
like, well, the thing with me and Paul is like we both like had such an immediate like understanding as like best friends. No, I know, but like, but can I tell you this though? Can I tell you this though? Like when I first saw Paul, I was like, not my type. Which feels so superficial.
Yeah.
So, yeah, on one side, it is absolutely superficial, and Irina was saying something similar. She's like, yeah, Zach's my type because he has dark hair, dark eyes, I like dark features, chiseled face, this kind of thing. So you could imagine someone that is looking for someone that they think they want, or someone that they think will look good next to them. You know, the classic is you have a rich old white guy who's looking for a trophy wife because he wants to enter the ballroom with a very attractive woman at his side because he thinks that he needs to have that in order to make himself look good or look like a worthy man or something. And that is choosing someone based on checking of a box that isn't sincere. It's not really necessarily what you want. You're narrowing your options just because you have a lot of weird, oppressive ideas about the variation of human beings in terms of body and face and hair color and stuff. So there's that side of things, and it's unclear which one it is for them. Given their behavior, it could be that. I normally wouldn't think that about someone, but given their behavior thus far, it could be in that direction. I don't know. But another side of it is you're attracted to what you're attracted to. There's things that you can do to maybe try to change that and explore it and investigate it. Sometimes it just has to do with what you're used to or weird associations that you have. Even racism can be involved in causing you to not be attracted to certain people. So it can be changed, what you're attracted to, but sometimes it just is what it is, and you can't really figure out why that is, and it's not your fault that you have this attraction, and you can't really do much about it. So I don't know which one they're talking about, but for both of them, they're saying that, well, for Irina, I think it sounds more intense. For Micah, she's saying when she first saw Paul, she wasn't attracted to him, but maybe it grew over time. I could also see a situation where Micah absolutely is in the same ballpark as Irina with the ick, but for Micah, as with a lot of people on the show, they don't want to talk about it openly, especially when they're being recorded for various reasons. Maybe they don't want to hurt their partner. Maybe they don't want to be kicked off the show. Maybe they want to get to the finish line of the altar because the contract or the producers or the money or whatever, there's some kind of incentive to downplay what's really happening for you. So it's hard to know what is going on. Let's see if Micah says more.
Have was that. He's at mine here, sorry. Like, there's a difference between like any other guy hugging me and there's Zach hugging me. It's just not there, and I don't know if it's gonna grow. It worries me that I still don't have this digital connection with him, even though I can see it with other people.
Yeah, and there could be trauma involved as well. Something is being triggered for her. It could be that he reminds her of someone in her past. It could be that the intensity of the expectation of marriage is raising her anxiety. You know, there are things you can work on, and I've worked on those things with people before. So it's hard to know, but without them being assessed and going to therapy, I don't really have a lot of optimism that they will explore those issues. But, you know, what are you going to do? If Irina decides that Zach isn't for her, I think that a lot of people watching would be thinking, well, I think Zach would be better off without that relationship. But I don't know. Okay, well, let's adjourn there. And everyone, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.